Hey, friends, welcome back to yet another exciting episode of Friends of the Squared Circle. We're back. That's right, folks. We've been on an absence because, well, when it rains, it pours. Literally, my ceiling has collapsed. Not that you want to hear about my drama, but we are back making new content. That's right. We have a special episode with the third man of Friends of the Squared Circle, Justin, not Jacob. Now, we're trying something new here, folks. We're doing Roll for Wrestling. We're basically just going to roll a die here. It's going to give us a letter, and we're going to just pick 4 males, 2 females, a manager, and a GM who's in charge of our booking, just to see who has a better roster starting out the gate, starting their own wrestling company. But before we dive into it, as you can see above me here, we have Darren Corbin as one of our sponsors of Friends of the Squared Circle. Check him out on all social medias and platforms. And don't forget to sign up for his Patreon, which starts in the free tier, like all Patreons mostly, like ours. And then sign up for those exclusive memberships. I really love the 8x10, Jacob. Just kidding, Justin. Where he sends a bi-monthly 8x10. I have so many 8x10s of Darren Corbin, as well as Inside Out Nutrition, healthy shakes, teas, and donuts, folks. You heard it right, healthy donuts. I need to get on the healthy lifestyle. But the only thing that isn't losing weight is the #1 beard in pro wrestling podcasting. I can't help but plug that. And last but not least, let's give a shout out to Superior Creations for all your custom tumbler needs, which we'll be selling at future events now instead of just giving them away. We have gotten the green light to sell them. And Justin, we got to get you one with my beautiful beard if it can hold all of my hair, but we do not know. All right, we're going to jump into it. Again, Roll for Wrestling. We're going to roll a die. It's got special letters. It's from Scattergory, is my favorite game. We get 4 males, 2 females, a GM, and a manager who he can put with any male talent or female talent to boost their stock. Are you ready? I mean, let's just jump into it, Justin. Are you ready? We're going to give you the first roll here.
I am more than ready.
Perfect. Now, folks, I'm going to set up where you can actually see the die, hopefully, eventually, but you just got to trust me because, no tricks here, folks. And I'm not going to move the camera up and down because you don't need to see my midsection, but you can check out my cool Otis t-shirt. But all right, here we go. First roll, he can do a pass if he wants, and I can steal. We'll work out the kinks here because, Friends of the Square Circle, we just dive into things. We don't know what the hell we're doing, but at least we have a beautiful beard and a great, co-host here. Here we go. The first letter is D. Okay, I already got one that I would steal right here. You don't use the letter
D or E?
D as in dog. Road dog, just James.
I've been going a lot. I think one of the videos I watched a couple days ago was on the kind of like that cartoony 90s period in WWE. So people are probably going to hate me for this, but if it's D, I'm going to go doink.
Oh, I mean, a scary clown. That is okay. I'm going to say that is a solid pick because, I wouldn't have went there, but a lot of people don't like clowns, and that is a great heel right out the gate. And obviously, you're taking Matt Bourne,
Yes.
the originator. Solid first pick. All right, I got mine coming up here and I get cheap. This was the letter I was not hoping to get for a male right off the get-go, but I can go anywhere on the board. Like I said, we got 2 women, 4 males to pick from, GM and manager. You know what? I'm going to jump right in the GM mode right here. He was, I believe, a commissioner back in the day, kind of an enforcement. I'm going to put Gorilla Monsoon down on the list as my GM to keep things orderly.
I like that. I like that pick. One of the better voices is for an announcer as well.
Yes, him and Bobby the Brain.
Yes.
That's my favorite combo just because, like this show, you're the serious one. I'm the weirdo spouting off. You got to keep me in control. And yeah, that would be our dynamic. You would be the smart Gorilla Monsoon. I would be the weasel Bobby No Brain Heenan for sure. So yeah, I like my pick. I'm pretty happy with that. I was kind of scared with G, but here we go. This is a good letter for you. Letter R for your next superstar.
R. Well,
a lot of good names I could go off of this list with an R.
the first name and within a second. Feed me more. I'm gonna go with Ryback on this one.
Okay, okay. I can't wait for the comment section to light you up on that because I mean, wrestling wise, intimidating, great physique, believable, online persona. We won't even get into it. But I mean, when I met him, he was super nice, super cool. Sometimes they say don't meet your heroes, and he was actually pretty cool when I got to meet him. So, have you ever met Ryback?
No, unfortunately not. I've started watching more of his YouTube channel, and that is
Okay,
I don't know why I've just kind of fallen in love with that, but
okay.
when you can watch a guy like that who's just like, you know what, I'm going to get on here, I'm going to choose between a Burger King Whopper and a McDonald's Big Mac and let you guys know, like I just feel like, he's not taking himself too seriously, which kind of makes it one of those more down to earth things. So
Mhm.
I love it
Yeah.
personally.
And he has one of the top 3 handshakes that I've ever experienced. Billy Gunn being number 1, Ryback number 2, and Haku, aka Ming, number 3. 3 opposing big men right there for sure. So you went Ryback. Okay, I would have went a whole different direction, but that's okay. Ooh, I have the letter K. Ooh, what can I do here? What can I do here? I'm gonna go. Kari Kari C. I can never say her name right.
Kari
Kari
saying,
Sane. Uh, Great young talent. Her, Asuka, and Io Sky are some of my favorite to watch in the ring. Kind of underrated because they don't get a lot of that exposure, I feel. But, I digress because everybody would say anybody's on. But I'm going to go Kari. Oh my gosh, Kari Sane. Sorry, I'm butchering it. I didn't get the letter A or I, so I'm just gonna hopefully get one of those great workers. And yeah, any thoughts on that pick?
I like that pick. That wouldn't have been one that I would have thought of
Mhm.
right away, but I think that was one of the better ones because I just don't think I feel like she could stand to get more TV time.
Mhm.
I think to me that's the issue. I could very well be wrong, but to me, I just feel like I don't see enough of her on
Yep.
TV, and I think we're all suffering a little bit for that.
Yeah, and
Uh,
it's sad that WWE kind of got rid of her, and then Asuka taking a step back.
mhm.
Io's killing it. I've liked her since she was down in NXT. Um, you know, I I love Piper Nevin. She's one of those talents that has all the tools, but injuries have been setback after setback, and then bad storylines. I don't say it too often, like they don't get used enough, but like I know kind of what's going on with her through social
Mhm.
media and reporting. But Piper Nevin and her definitely, in that Mae Young Classic. I mean, there was such a lot of great talent there, and you can't have them all. So.
Yes, and I agree. Like you said, with the Mae Young Classic, that top to bottom
Mhm.
was unbelievable with the
Yeah.
talent that they had in that tournament.
And who knows, maybe I'll get a chance to see her at WrestleCon coming to Minneapolis, which Cranderq will be there and his number 1 beard. The next letter for Justin is B, as in boy. Like other people with beards who think they have great beards are boys. I don't know. That doesn't make any sense. None of them, most jokes don't land here at Friends of the Squared Circle. I'm sorry.
Now, can we use the B as like the letter? Does it have to be the first name or it can be last name?
I'll go with last name. We're winging it. I mean, like if it's like
Okay.
Doug Basham, let's just take it. It's a B. The rules are fluttering here because I mean, I might have to cheat late. I mean, uh, rearrange later,
Rearrange later. Okay. Well then,
not cheat. I'm not Eddie Guerrero or
yeah,
Chavo. I don't
yeah.
cheat, lie, and steal.
Best gimmick right there. Well, if we're doing with the last name starting with the B, I'd say for the GM, uh, there's only one man for the job, and I'd have to say Eric Bischoff.
That's a great pick. I mean, that rivals mine. I mean, the guy helped bring in the NWO, kept WCW afloat till Vince Russo kind of ruined it.
Yeah. And I think ruined it might be an understatement,
Yeah,
but
yeah. And I understand why Jim Cornette says what he says. Yeah, moving on. Before we move on, um, did you like him more when he was the character in WWE or actually in charge of WCW? What's your hot take there, real quick?
It has to be with WCW.
Hmm.
I just think there was obviously more substance to when from his time in WCW compared to when he was in
Definitely.
WWE. And obviously we never know the full background stories, but I just think they might not obviously, WWE just not giving the full rope to let
Hmm.
him become in WWE what he was in WCW, as far as storylines, creative stuff like that. But I just think with just looking at the face value of everything with what he did in character with the NWO, I I just think there was so much there, and especially when are able to look back and go week by week through WCW
Hmm.
shows.
83
Um,
weeks, hint, hint.
yeah, yeah, and I just think it's by far it was his time in WCW.
Definitely. Yeah, I like that he was kind of a character, but I like what he did in WCW because if I had to choose, I was a WCW kid all the way through. And the next letter for me is J. Whew. I got to do it. That's one of my favorite female wrestlers. Again, I'm going to go Jordan Grace. TNA champion, as well as women's champion. She's going to be a force, hopefully in WWE. I just saw something online where people are saying that they're just jobbing her out. It's like, well, relax.
Yeah,
It will happen. But yeah, I mean, I've liked her. I've met her a few times. She saved me. You can hear this in tons of episodes where I got yelled at by Priscilla Kelly. Jordan Grace came to my my rescue. So I am going to go Jordan Grace. That's right. As my second female. So now going forward, I have strictly males. You have two males, two females, and a manager yet to be decided. Are you ready for your next letter here?
let's do it.
Perfect. You heard that dice roll, but I dropped it before I asked him, so we're going to give him a re-roll because that was a horrible letter. Letter H for you here.
H. Um, H. Oh man, that's a
I can
tough
see the
one.
comment section already. Honky tonk man. I'm kidding, dude. Don't go that route.
Yeah, H. Well, you mentioned it was one of the strongest handshakes a little bit ago. I'm going to go with Haku.
Ooh,
That was one of the first names that popped up with H. So
there you go. Two BAs right off the top. I can't say the word too much because we'll probably get flagged. Yeah, I loved him as Ming, so you could have him as either or, but I mean that counts. But yeah, him and Barbarian were like my favorite WCW tag team.
yeah, I
So cool. Well, obviously the Nasty Boys too, but like Barbarian and Ming, did talk. They just beat people up, and I love that. A lot of people say Road Warriors, but Barbarian Ming just total BAs for sure.
I've seen watching videos that they judge during WCW's time.
Mhm.
There'd be certain matches where I found out that the through watching videos, the kind of a running joke was the to gauge how manly a match was, they would use the Ming manly meter.
Oh, really? That's
Yeah,
hilarious.
so it's like Disco Inferno versus Mike Enos, and it'd be all the way down and like below the empty point on the gas tank.
I'm writing that down so we can start using that when we talk about anything. Like, well, on the Ming Manly meter here at Friends of the Squared Circle, that's only like two Mings. You know what I mean? Like, not
Yeah,
five. You know,
yeah,
weak sauce.
yeah.
We're gonna get a T-shirt that says that eventually when we get the shop back up and going here. We also have to get the logo adjusted here. As you can see, our beautiful friend Jordan had to step away, so we got to get Justin on the logo here as well, or get him a separate logo because Might be just too much beard. I know, folks. I know. Self-proclaimed. Next roll here before I keep going down a rabbit hole. It's been 2 months, folks, since I've recorded an episode. Just stay with us here, okay? I have also got the letter R. I have a manager left and all 4 males. Who could I spice up with a manager, or who could I put on my roster to start my men's division for my startup wrestling company here? You know what? I'm going to be stupid. This probably makes no sense, but I'm hoping that the pairing comes later. We'll announce who our manager will be for one of our wrestlers. But I'm going to put Ric Flair in the manager role. Ain't no way in hell is old man Rick wrestling for me. I remember as a kid, I used to yell at the TV when he'd be like, I'm a 12-time champion. Well, you lost it 11 times. You know what I mean? But I am going to put Ric Flair in the manager role here. And hopefully I get a nice young stud for him to woo with. So that is my pick. The essential world champion record holder outside of WWE, Ric Flair, as my manager. I think it's a pretty solid pick. Plus, he hates Eric Bischoff. Well, so that might add a little bit of controversy in our 2 factions here / wrestling companies. So
it would add a little flair to it, pun intended.
Yeah, that's a good one. I like it. I really do. I don't want to sell it because I tell the jokes here. Little Nate's a great dude. Charles Robinson, as well as a great joke there. Your next letter is C, and you again have. Looks like you have 1 male wrestler left, a GM, and 2 female wrestlers here. So letter C, as in Cranderq.
Well, I took Eric Bischoff as the GM. So I've got a male, 2 female, and a manager. A C. That's an easy one after talking about Rick. I'm going to go Charlotte Flair.
I mean, you arguably have probably one of the top female wrestlers right there. Imagine the 2 matchups between one of my women wrestlers. I love Charlotte. She gets a lot of hate. I think a lot of it has to do with her father, but I mean, she's supposed to be that character, folks. She's supposed to be the one that wins all the time. She's a Flair for Christ's sakes. I love that pick. I love it. It's a solid 10 right there. I can't say anything bad about Charlotte. I think she's better than Becky. She doesn't have that fan aura that like we always talk about the fan perspective of things, but I love Charlotte. I think that's a good pick. I'm not going to lie. I mean,
yeah. And I realized that I'm not going to give it away just in case I get for future, but I realize now with having 1 female wrestler left, I missed a good chance on one of the letters I already had for one of the females.
Well, that just sucks for you. No,
Hey,
you might get it again. You might get it again. I might pass on it. Who knows? Again, we're just flying by the seat of our pants here, friends. We're trying to have some fun, switch it up, and do new things. Like that's what Justin's here for, is to bring a different perspective of the wrestling stuff. And then if he goes solo, which I believe you said you want to try, then he'll have his own show, and then you can tune in and like that one better. But for now, I'm running the shit show, and then stay tuned for this next roll. I have the letter M, and I have strictly just male talent left. I'm just going to pick my favorites here because why not? I'm going Miz.
Yeah.
I mean, I cannot take a workhorse like the Miz, and we see what we have with Danhausen right now going on with the Miz. Give me some Doink and Miz action. I'm in for it, clowning around. Pun intended, I can do it too, Justin. I'm loving it. Evil Clown and Miz. That's putting asses in seats. I'm saying the swear word right now, asses in seats, Miz and Doink. I'm going to throw that up after a couple days for a question to see if anybody can challenge that booking with a better fun match on a pay-per-view. You know what I mean? So, yeah, I like that pair up right there, right off the bat, so.
I think right now what they're doing with Miz in the Danhausen segments after Miz got electrocuted is pure gold.
Mhm. And the
Where
thing
he's, you know,
is
he's
like everybody that comes through that door works the Miz, so you know he's the measuring stick. You know, a
mhm.
lot of people are like, oh, he's getting used to bury it. Brother's on TV every day, folks. Every day he's getting those residual checks. He's doing American Gladiators, which I still got to check out. You know, he's been there 20 years, I believe. Homeboy's cashing checks, having the best time of his life. His wife gets to work with him during Mania season, the biggest time. She gets a paycheck. Dual income family. Support the kids. The only thing I don't support is the love of football and basketball of the team of Cleveland. So that's my hot take right there.
Yeah, that's a little hard for me to
Yeah.
give a green
Who's a
light on as
who's
well.
Browns fans? If you're a Browns fan, comment. And you know, since we got Show Me the Collectibles coming, if you're a Browns fan and you can like show a picture of you in a Browns jersey or t-shirt, I will give you this Lance Archer, Lance Rock autograph card. If you put a picture in the comment section, and then you know if you guys want to come on and Show Me the Collectibles, show off some weird collectibles like that, we're happy to have you. I know Justin would like to talk collectibles with some people because then we can look up things that we need to buy. But yeah, Browns fan.
I I worked. He just left for a different job a couple weeks ago, but I after the Rams moved out of St. Louis, I said, well, I spent 5 years up around Chicago for college, so I
Mhm.
defaulted to the Bears.
Mhm.
Fortunately, this younger guy that just left for a different job was a Packers fan.
Oh, I feel sorry
So
for his family.
I said, I said I hope they sit somebody in his spot that is a Packers fan, or I said if they want to give me more to work with, I actually told them they can stick somebody there that's a Cleveland Browns fan.
Look, I remember I got to do the sidebar too since we're just clowning on the Browns here because you know this is not just a wrestling podcast obviously for now. My cousin brought a boyfriend to Christmas for the first time, and we're watching the Packers and Cowboys, you know, holiday game. And I was like, "Oh, well, who's your favorite team?" And he said he was a Browns fan. I was like, "Shut up, dude! You are in a house of Packer fans. Don't mention that." And sure enough, he, you know, spouts off, and they all looked at him like, "Carrie, get rid of him. He's no good for you. He's a
Let's set
Browns
them out of the
fan."
curb.
And then he tries to throw me on the bus. He's like, "Well, he likes the Ravens," and I was like, "Well, I'm family. I can't go nowhere." So,
Yeah.
you know, we've only been in the playoffs, you know, 70% of our time in the NFL. But we're gonna roll again. This isn't a football podcast. I'm sorry, folks. Let's see. It's your pick was Charlotte. I get the next letter here, and I have the letter E. Ooh, that is a tough letter. I have one. Uh, I mean, we've been talking about WCW a lot with Eric Bischoff. This man opened almost every pay per view that I can remember. He probably didn't, but I absolutely love him. And it starts with the letter E. If you think of this name, I'll be surprised. But I'm going to go Ernest the Cat Miller. I've always liked his matches. I'm going to throw him in there. You know, him and some Haku. You know, the veterans slash Ming. I think they would have some great dances. You gotta love the red shoes. He is on my bucket list to meet. Y'all can hate me in the comments all you want, but this is my fandom. You know, Ernest the Cat Miller is my pick. I almost thought about passing it to you, but I'm like, you know what? I always talk about how much I love Ernest. You know, back in the day. So we're gonna put Ernest the Cat Miller on my list here. So
I like that pick. I'm right now going through a lot of the I think I'm in mid 1999 WCW right now that I'm going
mhm.
through, and just got through the Great American Bash. But right now is the I think it's right before Ernest the Cat Miller kind of started really hitting his stride in the peak
Okay.
in WCW. So I'm looking forward to that as well. So
Yeah, and like I said, I think he opens a lot of the pay per views as that hype guy. I
mhm.
mean, and I always just I enjoyed his craft. You know, I mean, on paper these lists are crazy, but you know we're having
Mhm.
fun. Feel free to comment how dumb we are because it just makes us go up the algorithm, folks. We don't care. But yeah, Ernest the Cat Miller, man. Like I'm gonna have to dive into some of that. I'm gonna have to look up some stuff on YouTube tonight for sure. For that. And that's a name you just don't hear a lot on lists. I got us
Yeah.
cheated and went Big E, but I'm gonna stick with Ernest the Cat. I think that's a solid pick for me.
Yeah, I wouldn't have thought of that one, but I would have missed a great opportunity.
I hope I get the letter G later on now that I think about it, because I just thought of somebody now that I would love to have on my roster. All right, the next roll here for you, Justin. Roll it off the table. Letter N. Letter N. And again, you can use the last names if you like. We have a faction that we absolutely love, so feel free to bend the rules. I'm just re-looking at the list here. Yes, we're doing a
This
video. I
one,
should be looking down the whole time. So.
I'm going to add another female wrestler, and this is one after I read her book, totally fell in love with her as a person, and even more respect for her as a female wrestler.
I already know where he's going, folks.
Natty Neidhart.
Man, you have got some bangers. Natty is a generational talent. I don't care what people say. Again, I will fight with you in the comments. Well, I won't, because we're not that petty. But I honestly think she's better than Trish because she's a wrestler. She wasn't a model that learned to wrestle. She was a wrestler coming in. She has that Hart family dynasty behind her, and that didn't elevate her.
Mm-hmm.
But she is a worker. Look what she's doing for the talent of tomorrow.
Yeah.
People go off of looks with Trish. People go off of maybe promos, but Natty is solid, and another solid pick that I am jealous of with your female talent, and her with Jordan Grace and Kari Sane. Why do I keep doing that? Great matches either way you flip them, either in tag or what a lineage you have there.
Yeah, she talked, I think, when she was in developmental about working with Charlotte Flair, actually, and how well they worked together, and how that actually kind of helped her, through the training program, because she said, you were saying she wasn't the supermodel background and stuff that came in, and I think how she referenced it was she kind of felt like she had that ugly duck syndrome, which I think is.
And I was just going to point on that we don't talk about looks because we like to respect the women here at Friends of the Squared Circle. Is that dealing with the emotional roller coaster of trying to fit in, the weight loss, the makeup, like she's a heart, she's coming out like she is, and she doesn't get enough respect. People say she's, useless, blah, blah, blah. It's like, no, that girl's going to put people over. She's doing her job. She's helping the talent of tomorrow. Like her and Tyson Kidd, really love what they do. And it shows because of the people that they have for training seminars. Bailey's starting to do it more now. Naomi was doing one, so like the girls are giving back. You're seeing a lot more of those girls, passing the torch to the next generation, with girls like Lainey Luck, who is the ID champion for WWE. You've got Blair Onyx out there, for Black and Brave, Seth Rollins' school.
Actually, and I've seen Blair Onyx and Lainey both live, and that's one where I agree. It's that younger talent like that they are. They're phenomenal.
Yep.
So, and I felt like when Natty was saying all that stuff, in the book, I just would love to meet her and say, all that stuff you thought about yourself, I know your last name's Neidhart and who your dad was, love him and miss him. But, I would say that I would have to preface it with saying, I respectfully disagree.
She, Jazz, Victoria, Molly Holly, definitely before their time. Had they have what we have now, we'd have a whole different career trajectory for those girls.
Yes.
I'm writing that down. Another one, diving into that next generation of women talent, so we can kind of keep praising Natty here. But next roll here for us here, this one will be mine. There we go. I got to roll the dice properly because I got a really good letter and I didn't want to cheat off that crappy roll. I now have the letter B. Let's see. Got two more male talent to fill in. You have a manager as well as one male. While we're waiting here, I'll just reread who we got. You have Doink, Ryback, Haku, a.k.a. Ming. You have Charlotte Flair, Natty Neihart, and Eric Bischoff, where I have The Miz, Ernest the Cat Miller, Kari Sane, Gorilla Monsoon, Jordan Grace, and Ric Flair. So B, Ryback. I'm going off the list here to kind of have someone fun with it too, but I'm going to put it in there because I want to see it, and it's old versus new. Give me Bad News Brown. You know what I mean? Like let's throw that in there. We're making this list crazy. I'm going to keep going with some off the radar picks. I'm going Bad News Brown.
Yeah.
Why not? I bet he can whoop up on your boy Ryback for sure.
I believe he might have medaled in one of the Olympics so many years ago, and I believe it was in judo. I believe.
Okay.
I don't think it was. I want to say for some reason, and this could be wrong, I feel like he had won a bronze medal in judo.
Definitely gonna have to look into that some more.
Or at least had a very good background in judo.
Yeah, because he has passed, if I'm correct, right?
Yeah. Yes. Correct.
Yeah. Okay. Yep. Yeah. That I like I said, I'm trying to do some fantasy booking here while we're playing with it. I think it's a fun pick. Why not? It's my show. I can do what I want. All right. I got to look more into him. I just remember him a few times. I think he wrestled Bret Hart at one of the big pay-per-views there, and it just kind of had that menacing, tough guy. Was he the one that wrestled Piper when he did the half and half?
Yes, that was actually just going to be mine.
Yep. All right. Yep. Different time, folks. Different time. Yeah. We don't support that. Yep. All right. Next roll for Justin here. I know we're moving on pretty quick from him here, but I want to keep the time as well as keep the show rolling here. You have the letter I. Ugh, that's a tough one. You have manager and a male wrestler. And like you said, you can pass, and I can re-roll it for you. Or I could steal the letter I, but that's up to you here. We'll give you your choices there.
That's I.
Yeah.
Wow. That's
not that you're going to pick them, but what was the guy's name? Kind of wrestled with Evan Bourne, before NXT was actually NXT. Japanese fella. Was it Ichiro or something like that?
Oh,
I can't remember.
Yeah, I can't either.
Not that you should take him. I'm just trying to think of his name.
That one, I think I'm going to have to pass on that one.
All right. Yeah, that's a shitty letter. Excuse my language. I mean, IRS is available. I'm trying to think of some other wrestlers that start with the letter I. The Iceman from WCW. Yeah, I'm drawing a blank on any eyes. I mean, there's Io Sky, but you've already got your females locked up. I mean, she could be your manager, but that's a horrible pick, in my opinion, for a manager because she's a great talent, not because she's horrible. All right, we're going to do the re-roll here. You got the letter J. Oh, letter J. That's a good one.
Oh, well, that's an easy one for a manager. James E. Cornette. One guy could listen to talk wrestling for ages.
My buddy Randy would love that pick. Good old Jimmy Cornette. The drive-through, Check out a real podcast, folks. You can go over there and listen to that, or you can just listen to us roll letters and make wrestling, So I don't know if you can hear my dog whining, but he doesn't approve of that pick. So
I heard him barking a little while ago. He is not.
That was my sister. Oh, there he goes again.
Yeah.
That's a good one. I mean, you got the knowledge, you've got the character. He's going to help. Oh man, can you imagine him and Eric Bischoff just going back and forth for 20 minutes,
That
just on the ringside?
I just think to me it kind like I just feel like the Jim Cornette passion that comes through in
Mhm.
those interviews and stuff he does, like I wouldn't put any reins on him. I just say, you know what, just go out there. If
You
it
do
it
you,
makes
boo.
yeah, like it can't be too realistic.
Love it. I love it. I love it. All right, we got one male wrestler left here. I'm gonna make my roll, and somehow I'm done before you. But who knows? I don't know. Things are weird. We might have skipped it. Who knows, folks? All right, I have the letter H. I mean, I could go that route. I mean, I could go there too. It's a very popular letter. It's a good letter. How do I want to play it? Because I want to know what you want to do.
I I I have a guy in mind. If you were to pass on it, because I just watched a video on part of his later career, um, and I love how in that video, they talked about one of it was kind of the or as Vince Russo would say, swerve bro, interview that he did in with a very particular colored jacket that people, I'm surprised, still remember the color of the jacket he wore in
Hmm.
that interview. I hadn't forgotten it, but I thought maybe I'm the only one who has some type of goofy memory that remembered the color of his jacket, because I remember watching the show on TV when it happened and was
Hmm.
ecstatic by how the interview went. But I know where I'd go.
You know what? This is another guy that, little controversy. Um, I want to keep it weird because we were talking off camera. A lot of people that don't get mentioned a lot. I'm going to steal the H. And I'm going to do it. Hardcore Holly. Give me Hardcore Holly in my final spot there. I need a bruiser. We're going hardcore.
He was actually a name that, along with Haku's, popped into my head when I had H earlier. So
Okay.
I can't fault you for that pick.
And he's got another good book. You and I both love our biographies. Great read. Uh, you know, um, in my opinion, he likes to think he's, way better than he was. But I mean, when he did wrestle Brock, he kind of earned his stripes. But, he got in the gimmick, sometimes it happens, but super cordial, super fun to talk to when I got the chance to meet him. Good book. But yeah, my list is crazy, but I love it. I think it's a solid list. Hardcore Holly.
Mhm.
Yeah.
The route I was going to take with the H to fill in that little
Mhm.
was Mark Henry, who came
I
out
was
and
thinking
did.
about that because he just got announced for WrestleCon.
Yeah, it
But
was
I was
the
like, that's a name I love, but like, I just, I just didn't want to hand you the H. Yeah, I thought
this
about that, but I was like, you know what? I'm going to go for a deeper dive here. So,
yeah, and the jacket was the referenced salmon color jacket when
oh
he announced
yeah,
in
now it rings a bell. Duh, yep,
yeah, and
yep.
that in his retirement. But I
Hmm.
watched the video on the infamous Hall of Pain,
Yep.
which was fun looking back on that part of his career.
Yes,
So
that was a good run. I'm glad he got a couple of world championships there.
yeah,
I loved it for sure. Yeah, Mark Henry, got to meet him now. Super nice guy, and surprisingly, he didn't really have a hard, strong handshake, because I'm sure he didn't, try to kill me, through the handshake there. All right, for your last roll here, like I said, I don't know how I had mine before yours, but that's okay. You got one male talent left, and you have the letter O.
hmm. Letter O. Wow.
That is a hard letter, folks, so I will let him re-roll if he likes. But
I think I'll take a re-roll on that one.
Okay.
Yeah, that's a tough one.
Mm-hmm. I mean, is Okada start with an O? Or is it some weird spelling? I'm stupid.
No, that does. Okada would. Yeah.
You could use Randy Orton, but we're having fun with this. You don't need serious wrestlers. Letter B for your final roll here. This one you got to come up with one.
So
this one's an easy letter.
I've got an obvious one that comes to mind right away with the letter B. But when you mentioned earlier, I'm going to go a little bit deeper into the independent scene. Because earlier you mentioned Seth Rollins' wrestling school, and I am fairly confident that he is also a graduate of Seth Rollins' school. I've sadly only had the opportunity to watch him wrestle once at a Glory Pro event in St. Louis, but got to meet him. And I absolutely agreed with him because he's a very big man, best mustache in wrestling. I'm going to go Bruce Hamilton.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's I don't know how many people out there might know him, but it's amazing to watch, a guy of his size work in the ring and how because they talk about he's not as big as a guy like Vader, but that kind like a guy like Yokozuna, but guys. He's a very solidly built guy, but it's amazing to see, how well, he moves across the ring,
Definitely
follow him on
have to look him
Instagram,
up.
love watching his stuff, but yeah. And, so yeah, I'd have to give a little shout out,
there we go.
Bruce Hamilton.
Perfect. Now, we talked about who we want our managers to go with here before we wrap it up. I'm going to throw Ric Flair with Hardcore Holly, only because you know how Rick has that a crazy lifestyle, flashy lifestyle, and I could just see him trying to convert Hardcore into that for storyline wise. If you can hear my dog, I apologize. He's just, sad because I'm not out there. But I'm going to put Ric Flair with Hardcore Holly just because of the funny stories you could do with that. And that's my final opinion on my roster. Who would you put Jim Cornette with? And then we will wrap this up and then put our sponsors over one more time before we're done with Friends of the Squared Circle.
I think Cornette, for some reason, I feel like the one he would fit with, to me, would actually be Bruce Hamilton. He's had that. I guess I could kind of say the same thing for Haku and Ryback, but he had those, those bigger guys that he managed. Like he with Yoko.
I thought you were going to actually say with Natty, with being with the Hearts there for a little bit with Owen and that,
I thought for a second, if it wasn't for the fact that her dad was Ric Flair, for some reason, I think that pushed away that idea for me of putting him with Charlotte.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, for some reason, I think, just because Cornette's got that background managing bigger, the big, strong guys in the WWF. Yeah. That
I loved him with Yoko and Owen though. It was just perfect.
With, I believe at the time that would have been Camp Cornette at the time. But yeah, I would actually, it's
that's a 3-pack I would actually buy.
Yeah. It's an odd pair. To me, it might be come off as an odd pairing, but I'd put him with Bruce.
Mm-hmm. I love it. All right, Justin, thanks for playing. Roll for Wrestling. We'll have to keep doing fun stuff like this. Like I said, you're always in for the shenanigans. But if you want to be just like Justin, well, you can't be a co-host because he's already taken that role. But if you want to come on a future episode of Friends of the Squared Circle and sit and talk with I and Justin about your wrestling fandom, hit us up on Friends of the Squared Circle. We are on TikTok, YouTube, Instagram, and Facebook. Those are our main four that we participate on. Don't forget to give our sponsor some like and love, Darren Corbin. All social media at Darren Corbin, as well as his Patreon. Check out Inside Out Nutrition for all your healthy shakes and teas. They get you jazzed up, folks. I'm glad I didn't have one tonight because I would not sleep. I got to get up at 6 a.m. No one cares. And last but not least, Superior Creations, all your custom tumbler needs. Get anybody that you like on a custom tumbler, wrestling related or a loved one. We will be selling them at ExcaliburCon as well. At a future show to be named. Just waiting on some details there. But we might be taking a trip to Dakotas, folks. I just got to check with the promoter. As always, thanks for tuning in. It's your boy, Cranderq Q. Cranderq Q out. And Justin. We'll get you an outro.
Yeah, gotta get, yeah.